Good morning, everyone. Today is the 14th of December, and as usual, let's do the drill of going through US30 analysis and where we are for today and see if there's anything potential setting up. So, before we do that, I am going to show you guys a trade that I went in yesterday. Actually, I posted this trade as a live trade on TikTok when it was actually running. And the funny thing is, while I was posting it, it was a live trade. And then when I finished recording and just about to post it, the trade already ended and it closed. So I'll show you guys how it played out and you can have a look. So it was a beautiful trade, but there's always a risk with trading, you know that. So this was a beautiful fan out with all the four moving averages lining up. You can see the 200 is right at the bottom, and then we have got the 10, 21, and 50 moving averages. So you can see that it is a smooth run up. This is another entry here for those of you. I think we already covered this in the yesterday's analysis. I didn't take it just because I didn't see it, but then we have run up here and then we have got another entry which just played out right at the top. If you can see this bullish pin bar entry, okay. There we go. So I didn't take it all the way to the upside. I took it is to risk to reward ratio 1.59, and take profit was 34250. Now this candle was a long wick which happened really quick, and obviously hit my profit target and I came out. But then, because this was, if I'm not wrong, was 130 when New York opens, it was basically, I personally feel like it could have gone the other way. And this was a long one, like, you could have lost, especially if the candles move really fast. Sometimes your stop loss does not get triggered even though you have put a stop loss, which is really really scary for me at times, because I trade funded account, and there's a limit at any point of time. So it's like, I I was like, wow, like this happened really quick. And then what happened next was even more scary to me, even though it was in the direction of my favor. Again, you can always go the other way, and that was a good 600 pips. So when it literally opened at 1:30 UK time, it opened with a huge gap like that. Can you guys see this gap? Like, that was a craze. I'm actually, hold on, I'm going to just hide everything so you can you see this gap now? Like, it opened with a huge gap, and that gap in itself, let's say from its close all the way, it opened here, it's 600 pips, guys. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that yeah, that was a bit scary, and that's the reason why sometimes I really really try and avoid, very close timings to New York open times. I let it just go do its thing, and then I come back into the trade to go and see if there's anything setting up, if that makes sense, because this would have been awful if it went the other direction and I was in a live trade. And sometimes, like I said, even though I've got a stop loss, I can't just be like super confident and tell myself like, oh, it's all going to be okay, because it's not. The market sometimes does not have enough time to kind of trigger your orders to close, and so therefore it kind of takes a bit more longer. So you might not have lost like 600 pips, you might have lost 300 pips, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, still, to me, that's not okay. So that's why sometimes this is a little bit scary for me personally. But yeah, it came out positive, so it was all good. But yeah, that was a trade in itself, which is a really, really quick trade. I came in here basically 10, 5, 10, 15 minutes. It was done and dusted. It was a good 54 pips, and the loss, I mean, the risk was 34 pips, right, guys? So that was a trade, obviously, and that was the only one I took. I didn't really go in anymore after that. Um, okay, I am just going to go up, top, down analysis first, okay, before we actually kind of just see where we are. It has just got a little bit messy right now. Um, okay, so this is a fake out. Basically, we we could be going down a downside. Having said that, so we did draw the two zones here. I'm going to delete this. So this was a liquidity zone that we draw on a weekly, did we guys? Remember yesterday, if you guys remember the analysis we did say that this whole bit here is a liquid, like it's so messy. There's so many things and so much rejections going on here. And if you can see, this is forming a nice rejection too. Though this candles here broke, it was a fake out. Like this was a liquidity zone. This is a fake out, and it could be going to the downside, right? So this was why I said be very careful if you guys actually thought it was going to fly off. If you were on a buy, on a long term buy yesterday, you would have lost quite a bit just because look at this candle. Do you guys get me? It literally went up, did a fake out, and it literally came down at a close here. So that's why I did say, if you guys are trading for a buy, be very careful because it is a very, very important zone. And so wait for price action to really tell you which direction the market is heading to. So this is a liquidity zone here, did a fake out. Now we just want to see whether it's going to carry to the downside, or actually there's another one here which we already drew. It's going to come down, reject this bit here and fly up. So these are all the possible scenarios that I in my head are looking at the moment on a daily based on my moving average. It's a buy still, right? It is a buy. It hasn't gone to a sell momentum yet. So I overall it's a buy on a daily, okay? Even on a weekly, it's a buy. Look at that. All right, guys. So this is on a higher time frame. I'm gonna drop down to 4 hours and let's just see. On a 4 hour, just based on the moving average, it's a buy too. Having said that, I'm gonna open up my consolidation zones. There we go. Okay, if you guys can see, there is a box that's forming on a 4 hour. So basically, it is just fluctuating. Okay, I'm going to drop it down to 1 hour. You can see it's a buy on a 1 hour with a nice fan out as well, guys. But there hasn't been any prints for a bullish signal as of yet, and it's still dropping. Yeah. Okay. So I personally am just gonna wait it. I'm not taking any buys whatsoever on this at the moment. It is still dripping, and I do believe, like I said, it is gonna go down to this bit, possibly. Hold on, I'll show you guys this. Where's the liquidity? Do we draw it on a weekly now? Oh, we didn't draw it there. Oh, they're here. Okay, so I do believe it is actually gonna go down for today, before it might decide to go up. So on a 1 hour, it's still a buy. It hasn't given us a sell signal yet, but I am just going to wait. Like I said, I can only analyze just in my head what I think price action shows at the moment, but there really isn't anything. Okay, on a 15 minutes, we still have a buy, right? Okay, and if you guys might, okay, I'm just gonna go through this. So you guys actually may say like, hey, you know what? There's a bullish pin buy here. I'm gonna do a buy entry. There's a bullish pin buy here. Let's do a buy entry. Personally, I would not answer any one of these trades. I really wouldn't, just because the moving averages are not fanning out, right? It's actually, do you know what? I was reading the book. If you guys remember, I posted it on my TikTok, and the title of the book, it was something along the lines of, let me just recall what's the title now. The title of the book was the mental game of trading. Basically, that's the name of the book. If you guys hit to my TikTok account, the pin bars, you can actually see the post there. You can see the author there. But yeah, the mental game of trading, and one of it actually said, emotional game is very high when it comes to tradings and all that stuff, right? And it's like training yourself to trade like an AI, like a bot. So you just imagine you have a bot right now, right? What will happen is like you set the rules and the parameters for the trade to get activated. So you say that, if this condition meets this and this and this and this, let's say that all three conditions are met, trigger the trade. And you set like, to your lot size and so on and so forth. And so basically that's how you need to be trading. You got the bot doesn't have any emotions. The bot doesn't go like, oh, do you is this a risk? Oh, is it gonna fake me out? Is the way it doesn't have so many thoughts running in its head at any point of time. As long as the conditions are met very strictly, it triggers it. Whether the trade is a loss or a profit is based on your conditions, based on your rules that you have set at the parameters, right? So the same thing is really how you should be trading as an individual. You guys get me? It's like, and again, this is not something that I am super like, proficient at. I'm learning, and that's the reason why I always kind of say this. Like, it's so important to educate yourself, not just on the skill set. It's not just about reading about the candlestick patterns, though you need to read all those stuff and for you to even know how to trade. I get that. But once you've gone past the level of like, you know what, I can trade pretty decently, like then you kind of want to start reading more like the mind games, the psychology of money, for example, is another good read. Like reading more stuff that the emotional game side of stuff, why you do what you do, and how do you deal with losses, how do you deal with greed, how do you deal with failures, how do you deal with like confidence. There's so many different things that comes into play when you're literally trading. And so the best thing you could do for yourself is to discipline and to become that AI bot. Like become that person that literally has got no emotions when it comes to trading. You see the rules play out and then you execute the trade. That's it. And then you set your stop loss, you set your take profit, and you let it play out. And that's all you need to do. And if it goes in your favor, great. If it doesn't, also great. It's just one of those things. And then if you have consecutive losses, now it's time to really revisit to see your parameters if they are actually good or not. That's how you if you guys have actually had I don't know what they call them, those automated bots, EAs, is it? I think it's called EAs. It's like and I don't know what they stand for, to be honest, but I think I've seen it somewhere. But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. This automated stuff. It's like you gotta keep, how would I say, playing around with the settings, right, before you actually get the how would I say, the setting that works. And also what I've heard is like the settings don't work permanently. Like, hey, you know what, I kind of struck gold now. I found the setting that is getting me all wins for this week. Does not mean that it's gonna work next week. Apparently you gotta keep playing with the settings. So for me it's like, I don't know. Personally, it doesn't work for me just because it takes a lot of effort, and I would rather just watch the charts and do it myself. Like for me personally, I think this is where I am at this stage. I don't know. Maybe in 5 years down the road, I may be using those automated stuff too. I don't know. But as of now, like, so where I was going with this is the rules have not been met in this. So we don't have to spend even a second kind of trying to say, should we take this trade? Should we, you don't need to you don't need to overanalyze it. You don't need to get anxiety over it. You don't need to get, like so panicky and confused. And it's like, the risk mode does not need to kick in. For me, I'm like, no, I'm not going in. Even if this plays out in my favor, even if it runs on a bull, even if it goes up, it's okay because it is not my trade to take. Do you guys get me? So this is how I'm training myself to basically, not look at trades which do not fit into my parameter because there's risk involved and all the emotions kick in. And again, I'm not following the rules, and that's not what a good trader should be doing. So this is not a trade that would take just because of the moving averages not lining up, even though it's a buy. So you have three rules, for example, does not mean you follow one and two rules, and then the third rule you decide to break because you think it's not it's not important. No, if it was not important, it wouldn't have been your third rule. Okay, so follow very strict discipline when you're trading, guys. All right, so this is not a trade I would have gone in. Let's drop to 5 minutes and let's see where. Okay, there we go. Now, this I'm interested in. Now, look at this now. Okay, you guys can see my top three EMAs are fanning out, and my moving average here has come to a sell right now. Okay, but even now it's still not fanning out. We need them to kind of go in order. So the 10 should be at the bottom, and then 2150, and right at the top is the 200. Now it's going in place, and right now a box of consolidation is forming. So I'm just going to leave this on because it's important to know when consolidation happens, when breaks happen, and so on and so forth. Do you guys see this is a bullish pin bar here? There's a bullish pin bar here. There's a bullish pin here. This one printed, it went right up. Great. But do I take it? No. All right. Sometimes, what I've noticed is though I use now I don't take it, but previously, I used to play with this. Like whenever it rejects the 200 EMA, it's a very strong move because it's rejecting the trend line, basically, the main trend line. So therefore, when it rejects this 200 moving average, it is going to go in that direction, whichever rejection there was, whether it's a bearish or a bullish. So it did go. Like if you had taken this trade, for example, literally almost no drawdown and it was 41 pips. But no, I would now at this current stage I am in trading, I will not take it, all right, just because it's not fitting with my rules. This is another moving average bullish, but it decided to come down. Do you guys get me? Sometimes I let both print, like if you specifically are looking for bearish pin bars right now, for example, you can always go into your settings and remove the bullish pin bar print so that it doesn't have too many prints in your charts. But for me, it's fine. Like I just leave it because I just find it so. I'm just lazy to kind of toggle and keep doing that. But I know what I'm looking for, and so therefore I'm only going to be looking for that. So as of now, I do personally think that a sell is going to set up short term all the way up to. Let me just see where is the parameters. Um, Up to here possibly. So I'm going to draw two lines. This is where I would be looking for. So right to the top of this red candle and the open and the close, which is the 200 moving average on a daily at the moment. Okay, which is a crucial one. So it could come all the way down, reject that, and go up and give us a fake out and move up. Again, fake out does not mean that it's going to go on the upward trend. We have to kind of see whether it's forming like any downward pattern or not. All right, but this is a bearish pin bar anyway. Um, so I do believe it could be a short-term momentum downwards. But again, it just all just see. Let's just see what price action does. At the moment, it's starting to kind of, like I said, it's starting to kind of can you guys just give me a second? I want to just get rid of this red lines. These are the lines we kind of drew to see where price could literally go. These are the two lines. It hit both. Can you guys see that? Okay. So I'm gonna delete it. We drew this on a yesterday's analysis, guys, on where I would keep my eyes on. Oh, delete all of this. Okay, and these are the two new lines that I'm looking for and keeping my eyes on for now. Okay. Um, yeah, this whole zone here is really so messy, but we've got a nice leg out, bullish leg out here. So possibly price could come down. Even not today, it could just be on a consolidation. So we just have to see whether anything sets up. So I've drawn the two lines that I'm looking for, which is really the top and the bottom of this bottom zone here. And that is about 3,333,000 and 3 to 500. Okay, these are the crucial points that I'm looking at. So again, let's see. Do you see the prices going up after the bullish print here? I'm just going to let it play out. This is a consolidation zone. It could just fly up as well. If it does, also fine. I'm just going to wait for the moving averages to kind of turn the other way, give us a signal, and then I'm going to analyze a quick time again and I'm going to see what it does. But at the moment, if it starts to go down and it's forming nice moving averages, I'm just basically going to wait for a bearish pin bar to print on the 10 or the 21 moving average, and I will take it for a sell. So let's see how this plays out, guys. And again, trade safely, be very patient, and set alerts. If you're looking for specific pin bars to print, then just set alerts and go about doing your thing and then come back when the alert comes in and then decide whether it's a trade you want to take or not, right? So just gonna let it just go do its thing and then we'll just see where what price does today, right, guys? So happy trading and see you guys tomorrow.